What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Reality Pill. Today, we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are
Oh,
you?
great. Okay. Oh, yes. Can also too. I would like to request not to be
Okay.
seen.
How old are
Okay.
you?
So I'm 28. I'm
Okay.
28 years old. Um, I've been with my husband since I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
He's 30. He's 36. He's like 8 years older than me. We have 5 kids together.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a stay-at-home mom mostly all my 20s. Um,
Okay.
um, I have my two
What
associate's
what's the
degrees.
question
And
though? You got to get to the question.
okay, well, my question is like, now since he's been watching your shows and he's been sending me a lot of your videos for me to watch and stuff. So
Mhm.
now, you know, he's high value and like
What's the
I'm
question, dear?
like a project woman, I
What's
guess,
the
or
question, dear?
whatever. And so my question is like, how can I just level up and like be that executive wife if it's not too late, if that makes
Well,
sense?
well, well. I don't. First of all, if I think what I heard you say, you've been married for how long?
We've been married for next month will be next week actually will be 8 years.
All right.
So,
And your husband has been watching my content, right?
I'm sorry, I
Your
didn't hear
husband
you.
has been watching my content.
Yes, he
All
has.
right. How many children do you have?
We have 5 kids. I just had twins eight
Okay.
months ago.
So are there any has your husband brought to you any issues or problems?
Yes.
Exactly. And that would be exactly my thought process on why he would be linking her to some of Kevin Samuels' videos. And the reason why is because he has an idea in his head. If he's going to be taking care of this big family, taking care of her, there needs to be some type of structure or way in which she needs to move to better contribute to him and the family. He's probably looking at it like, I'm in a situation right now, I'm providing, I'm doing everything, but here you are treating me as if I'm just a regular person or an average person or just a person below their means. And I'm not taking care of a family. And you have some responsibilities and wifely duties to adhere to, and also the children. And it's probably not even like some real problems, but maybe it's some in which he thinks we need to work on this. This is exactly what I mean when I say this. Because every man at least wants the proper structure in their household, especially once they have all the responsibility and accountability and everything is on them.
He
What
has.
what has been the most pressing issue?
Well, about me working, like me not like um
About you going to
contributing,
work or not working?
that I'm not working. He thinks I'm lazy, but like
Okay,
I've
hold on,
been
ma'am. Okay? What you cannot do is I need you to give me the information. I don't need you to go ahead and fill in the picture. Make my own assessment.
okay.
You have 5 children.
Yes.
The youngest is how old?
9 months. I just had twins
The
8
oldest
months
is
ago.
how old? The oldest is how old?
7.
And after having 5 children, is there financial pressure in the house?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there financial pressure? Would the financial pressure be alleviated with you working and the children being in daycare?
I really don't think so because I'm just like, how can I go back out to the workforce with what skill, you know? So I was just like, maybe if I go back
Okay,
to school
hold
for
on.
2 years.
No, 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 no.
That's crazy. This woman already is just being a bit problematic because she assumes that she knows the answer already. She's thinking about going back to school for 2 years to do something or to probably try to get something better. Here's the thing: in 2 years, the bills are going to stack up. The, the bills aren't just going to stop, things will need to be paid for. So you plan on doing nothing for the next 2 years and then eventually getting to something that's going to be paying you about the average salary, and then you have to wait a couple of years for that to increase to properly contribute. But that's just the theory. Again, I want to kind of see where this guy's finances are, because if he can't take care of the family, but still he wants a little bit of help because he's like, all right, well, I can't exhaust all my income on six, including him, 7 people right now.
Oh. What question did I ask? Would the financial pressure be alleviated with you going back to work and the children being in daycare? Yes or no? Would it cost more for you to work, or would it cost more for you to raise your kids?
Well, for right now, I guess for our situation, it would benefit for me to go back to work right
All
now.
right.
Just
All right. Are you
just
guys living in a home?
yes.
Mm, okay. Well, I mean, look, I try to stay out of married issues, but if it's a money problem, you've got 5 kids. I don't really see how putting children in daycare is going to overcome the salary you're going to be making. But that seems like a pretty simple thing. If you make $40,000 in the work world and it's going to cost you $36,000 in daycare, there's no point to do it.
Right, absolutely.
But you don't. But you
So
got to get that information before you do, because if that's what he's thinking, it's one thing to say it, but then you got to know it. You need to go price out some daycares and say, this is how much it's going to cost. The bottom line cost, the weekly cost. Then you factor in the logistics. That's a hard cost. But outside of working, what's the next issue?
the next issue is with me not being, because he has his master's
Not being
degree and
what?
he's
Not
doing all
being
that
what?
stuff.
Not being what?
Like, yeah, and so I'm not like really, he feel like I'm not on his level. And I'm like, you married me at
Okay, hold on.
19.
Not
If
being
you
on his level meaning what, man? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about not being
like
on his academic level?
like I guess
Is that what you're
education
talking
wise.
about? Educate academically, educationally.
Oh, I said
O-
education wise.
Okay. So, all right, all right. How was you guys' sex life?
Oh, it's great. Like we have five
Hold on.
kids,
Oh,
so
oh,
like
now that's
the
having five
bedroom is
kids. Hold
definitely
on. No,
not
no, no,
an
no, no,
issue.
no, no, no. Don't no. Please, please, please. When I start talking, you can't overtalk me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. The issues you're bringing up doesn't seem like anything is. If your husband is saying the financial pressure, but he knows he has 5 children that he created, and he's talking about your education, that's not something he married you with. Um, how is you guys? Do you guys even still like each other? There you go. There it is, right there. You may have kids, you may have sex, but it sounds like the actual liking of one another is gone. So he's picking at you. And honestly, some of the things that you're mentioning, I don't see as real issues. You got 5 kids, unless you're going to be making $50,000 a year, you can't afford the daycare and the logistics. And then telling you that I got a degree and you don't is a bitch ass thing to do, in my opinion. But that tends to be how people can say this versus, I don't like who you are now. Are you still prioritizing your husband like you did when you before the kids? Uh oh.
Well, the thing is, we never really had that wife and husband
Okay.
first year
So
because like when he married me, I was
You said
already
before
pregnant,
the
you
kids.
know?
Nope. I said before the kids. That means even when you guys were dating.
Yeah. So like,
All right.
so
So
it was like,
here's the
yeah,
thing.
it was
Here's the
very
thing.
brief.
Let me
I
just
was
cut to let me
19.
cut to the let me cut to the chase because you seem like you're having a problem hearing me too. You guys need to get into some kind of counseling because you got 5 kids. You ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
I
That's the problem.
wished
I
he's
need you to
asking
listen. I
me
need you to
to.
listen. I need you to listen. He's not going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere. Going back to school to try to get some. That's you guys seem like there's a lot of pressure right now. And if you guys don't like one another, it's going to amplify everything. Marriage counseling. Because if he's watching my content, he's watching it for a reason. But I'm not hearing anything that I'm thinking you should be doing. I don't think a woman with 5 kids should be going back to work unless you're going back to a $100,000 a year job, especially with twins. Tell them about your education. Somebody needs to, if what you're saying is true, the way he said it, I got a bachelor's or whatever, and you just got a high school degree, a high school diploma. Somebody needs to slap his goddamn teeth out of his mouth. And sir, if you're saying that to your wife, that's a fucking bullshit thing to say.
I
You knew the
now
woman.
I'm
I
going to
don't
be on
need your
camera.
help right here. If you're saying that to your wife, sir, that's a bullshit ass thing to say. You chose your wife. You chose her at the level she was, and she's had 5 of your children. Who the fuck do you think you are to say something like that? If you want her to have be quiet, man, please let me do what I'm doing. If you need her to have a different education level, then I need you to go get a part-time job to pay for the damn nanny so she can go to school, so she can get an education and a degree so she can be on your level. I got what I need to do. Just handle well, ma'am. I can take care of it. But outside of that, you guys need to get into some counseling because you got 5 kids and you can't afford to have another family be wrecked over poor communication and petty differences.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, your husband is still a man and he still needs to have a wife that prioritizes him above his children. I don't need the cosign. I'm telling you what it is.
That's very true. And even though you love the children, your wife or husband is always there before. And you need to prioritize that person, period. Because once the kids grow up and they leave the household, guess who you're there stuck with? The person you've neglected for 18 years, 19, 20, 25 years. So again, that is a very critical point that most people don't get. Yes, the kids are important. Love them, cherish them, take care of them, nurture them. But also take care of, love, nurture, and protect and enjoy that person that you created those kids with. So when they grow up and leave, your connection is still good with them, with your other half. It's just life.
And if you're going to, and see, even if I'm talking to you and you're still trying to, yeah, but see, that shit needs to go. That needs to go. I've had to cut you off several times. Do you want to be right or do you want to have a different outcome?
Different outcome.
Then learn how to be quiet when it needs to be. Seriously. Because I don't care. He's still your husband. Your kids are his kids, but he still needs to come first as a priority. And coming first means that the kids can do what they do, but you're not partners, you're not friends, you're not co-parenting. He's your husband. It's a role. You're his wife as a role, and as his wife, you're responsible to remain keeping it hot, tight, and sexy with the kids. Are you in the gym at least 3 days a week working out?
For the past
Yes
4
or
weeks,
no? Yes or no?
yes, twice a
No.
week,
I
not
said
3.
3 times a week. The answer is no. The answer is no. See, the answer is no. When I answer yes or no questions, you answer the way you want to. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. The answer is what? No. How tall are you?
5'9.5".
Dress size?
to just start. Let me not. Let me not. Look at Kevin's face. He's like, dress size? And she is completely speechless. Because again, she's not keeping it hot, tight, or sexy for her husband. And that is another reason he probably linked her the content. Because she's bad mouthing, she's not helping out, and she's not even in shape. You see, a man could pick a struggle. If he doesn't help out around the house, that'll just be something else he brings up. Okay, cool. That's not really that important. But where it really lies is one, she's talking and bad mouthing, and then two, she's not even in shape. So he's like, yo, if you're not even doing these things, you're not even working, you have all day, you're sitting around not doing anything, you're talking crazy to me, you're out of shape, you're not contributing. Listen, you guys be the judge of that if you were sitting there and having to deal with that.
I'm just not comfortable with
Dress
my weight.
size, ma'am. I
I'm
didn't
like
look.
I'm probably like a 16 now or 18.
Okay, ma'am. All right. And your youngest are how much? How many months old?
8 months. No, they're 9 months. They'll be
Well,
10
ma'am,
months
I'm going to get you where I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to tell you that's unacceptable. That
Yeah,
is no, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's unacceptable. It is unacceptable to weigh more than a man
yeah,
even
I
after
get it.
childbirth. No, no. See, you're still talking. You're still talking. And you can talk all you want with your girlfriends. Get all of them to tell you what you want to hear. But there is none of that when it comes to men and visual attraction. You need to get it down. You gotta. This is a matter of surviving, keeping your family together. 2 days ain't enough. Put it up to 5. Figure it out. Wake up early. Lose some sleep. You decide to make these babies. You decide to marry this man. You got a responsibility to this as well. And it can't be to be 5'9", dress size 6. That's 260 pounds.
Wow. You you
I
your
know.
side
I know.
is.
I know. And ain't no man coming home to no 260-pound woman and happy. That just
Yeah,
ain't.
and
That just
like
ain't it. That just ain't it. And for all
yeah,
my critics who gonna be, he ain't got her 5 children, so on and so forth. Go back in your family album and look at your great grandmother. She had 8 or 10 children, and she was still 150 pounds. It is abnormal for women to weigh this much. Children don't put that kind of weight on you. Bad diet, lack of exercise, too much sugar, too much sugar, lack of exercise. That's why he's probably picking at you and you're not happy with it. So this is what counseling. So you guys can sit down and have this conversation. So he can honestly look you in the eye and say, I love you, but I'm not attracted to you like I used to be.
See, there we go. And I promise you guys, I've never seen this episode before. This is a fresh, brand new reaction. And even Kevin called it. That's probably why he's nitpicking. It's not the money. At first, you may think, all right, well, if he's mentioning that, it's probably a lot for him to take care of the 5 children and her financially. Okay. But when you think about it, there's something else there because men don't do that. Not necessarily. It's other things. She's there talking crazy, arguing, being combative, and she's not even in shape, and she's not even contributing to the household. And everything is stacking up for him. Men want something too.
Like I started this broadcast off, men and women are going to have to find a way to talk about the critical issues, i.e. sex. Because just because you're having sex, there's having sex and then there's having sex. If you're having sex and the lights are off, that ain't like having sex when the lights are on the coffee table. Do you do that? Hello? Do you do
yes.
that?
Well, guess what?
Lights
It's
on
gonna
coffee table. Lights on coffee table. Yes, no.
Well, both. Yeah, we like morning sex, so we are up early in the morning.
Coffee table,
They like
ma'am. Coffee table.
coffee table. We haven't gotten there. He's
My point.
traditional. He likes to
Okay,
be in
well,
bed.
all right.
So,
So I
but
said what I said for a reason. Um, it has never been okay for a mother to allow herself to let herself go. It's never been okay, and it's unacceptable. It's not even fair to a husband because you guys want men to be set. You guys want men to be loyal. How are you? Are you unmuted? How are
Are
you?
you? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm well.
Yeah.
Hey Nicole, we almost got $22 on your bus pass. What's going on, Trish?
Yeah. Um,
See, the ladies on the back can hear this fool, but nobody else can. What do you got for me? Climbing the wall to get to men.
climbing a wall to get to
Well,
men.
women want men to climb the wall to get to them.
Yes. I
Why?
really do feel like a man has to prove himself before you should be able to go in a relationship with him because um, men have everything to gain. They could sleep with you and just use
Men
you.
have everything to gain.
Yeah, they have a lot to gain
How old
from
are you?
in the no man's land, according
Okay.
to you.
No, I
I'm
just need to know approximately how, so I know how old you are.
35.
Okay. Um, you're still in danger zone. But when you say men have everything to gain, what are some things that you're talking about?
I feel like a lot of times men, they're not emotionally invested in relationships, and they can, if you just come
What are
out,
some of the things men have to gain? You said men can have a lot to gain, such as.
if you're in a relationship with a woman that is nurturing, that can take care of you, you would have someone that would take care of you, cook, clean,
Okay, let's
just
stop. Let's stop. Okay, if a relationship was with a nurturing woman, she could cook and clean. Okay, cooking and cleaning. I will tell you, at 51 years old, and all the women I've ever dated in my life, 2 of them could cook. So most women today can't cook. And cleaning, 50-50. What else does a man, could he gain?
I mean, that women are the prize when it comes to sex. You know this.
All right, yeah, she's just basically throwing things at the wall, hoping something sticks. In all reality, okay, let's just go with what she's saying. They have all to gain, cool, but they also have all to lose. And you see, that's not talked about because it's pretty much downsized to, yeah, it's just the money he just worked hard for. Doesn't really matter. The time, the effort, the security, the provision, having to sit through things that men don't want to sit through. So the resilience. See, those are the things that really aren't spoken on. Why? Because it's just deemed a thing they're supposed to do. Interesting. Because the things that she's mentioning right now, I believe, are just things that women are supposed to do. She's making it seem like it's these things that are so amazing. And to Kevin's point, he was very honest and factual. Most women don't know how to cook. A lot do, yeah, a lot do. But most women don't, especially in this day and age. They're not slamming it down in the kitchen. They're ordering takeout. Let's be real.
Because we are not
No,
the ones with
no,
high.
no. I know this sex. No, I know that you and a man can exchange orgasms. So a man is not getting something. You're both getting something.
Nah,
Oh
nah, nah.
yes, yes.
Be-
You're not a see. You're a prize if you're a virgin.
what? Nah, no.
Yes. Okay. You don't have to agree, but the men get to say what it is. And see, this is what you ladies don't seem to like. You cannot rewrite the rules because men get to decide whether or not they're going to move on those rules. I asked you what men stand to gain, and you seem to be struggling to tell me what they're gaining.
I'm not struggling telling you what they're gaining.
Okay,
They
well,
are.
cooking possibly, cleaning possibly. And you said women are the prize when it comes to sex. I say both people have sex. You're exchanging orgasms. You're not a virgin, so you're no longer a prize.
You
Do you
no,
have
you
any
know,
children?
no.
Okay. All right. Well, you're in the minority. A woman with children certainly can't talk about a prize being in sex. What else would a we don't have to keep on. What else would a man stand to gain?
I mean, um,
Come on, you
I
said a
guess
lot. There's three things. You said a lot.
I mean, don't you guys want a companion, somebody
And
that could
we
be
can
your
buy a
friend?
dog. We can get a dog. We can go have a horse. We can hang out with our buddies. See, let me go ahead and so I gave you an opportunity to tell me all these things since you said a lot. And I said you were struggling. You told me you weren't. At best, you could give me three of the three which is split. So at best, you gave me two, and it's arguable that most women can't cook today. So, and then cleaning is 50-50. So what you're saying, even based upon what you're saying, the a lot really isn't that much. Let me tell you what women stand to gain. After a marriage, if there are children, a woman walks away with custody 90+% of the time, which includes child support. That's a financial gain. If there's anything, if there's property, income, depending upon the state, women can walk away with spousal support.
Exactly. Which those things tend to be crippling to men, especially ones that, well, it really don't even matter because it really doesn't matter because even if a man earns a lot, it can be crippling to him. Even if he doesn't earn that much, it can be crippling to him as well. So this notion that men have everything to gain is just insane. And right as Kevin dropped that gem, you heard the Cash App money drop sound. That was actually pretty perfect for the moment.
Women can walk away better from a divorce financially, and men tend to walk away less, if not ruined. It is rare to see a woman walk away from divorce in this country in a worse position.
I
That
mean,
hold on, and then if you get spousal support, that is in that goes on until a set date or until you remarry. Ma'am, those are concrete things. And also, you also could tend to get half of all property, not just gained during the marriage, possibly outside, possibly before the marriage, depending upon the man's relative wealth. Jeff Bezos had to give up half of his fortune and he made at Amazon, and his wife ain't delivered one package. Dr.
him,
Dre's wife was trying to get half of his income, and she has not made one beat. Ma'am, the things that women stand to gain out of a marriage far, far, far exceed the few little things you try to say. You gotta admit that.
you know what? Yes, it is true. But coming to Jeff Bezos, him and his wife started Amazon almost together.
Ma'am,
They were
I don't
married.
care if it's Jeff Bezos, Dr. Dre, Johnny Carson. You can anecdotally find things where there may have been bilateral contribution, but for the most part, it's not that way. Man, what I did is I took my feelings out of it and I gave you some ironclad things that women tend to gain, and they tipped the scales greatly. The things you gave me didn't even make a dent.
I still have something to say about all you say we're gaining,
Oh,
but
I don't
all
care about.
this,
I don't. Okay, tell me about what men are gaining. You said men gain a lot, and you haven't told me. Cooking, maybe. Cleaning, maybe. Sex, half and half. What else?
your womb, if you give them children, your womb, and also, I mean, look, and coming to the divorce, I have something to say about that. If women like were married to for a long time to this guy, to me, I feel like they deserve it. Because if they were married
See,
for
guys,
like
what
how
I'm
many
trying to get you to understand is you now you're going to my points. Don't go to my points to try to make your points. I've given you multiple opportunities to tell me. First, you said men gain a lot. That's what you said. And I gave you multiple times chances to tell me what a lie, and you can't. Now you're trying to change my points to your point. And what you're showing is that men have far more to lose and women have far more to gain. And you can't even make a reasonable argument about that.
No,
Your argument rests on sex.
children too.
Children mean if she stays in the marriage, yes. But we have a divorce rate of in excess of 50%, where women are filing divorce at 70, in the black community 80% of the time. So that's no guarantee. As a man who was made a part-time father, a weekend dad, I will tell you, most men have to pay for children that they cannot even raise. Ma'am, you're just simply wrong. It's a bunch of feelings.
I just don't
You're
believe
35 years old. You're
mental health.
35. You're 35 years old, and you're giving me a bunch of feelings. Give me some facts on what men stand to gain.
Wow. Okay, so it's all about money. Just because women could gain.
No,
some
what you're
money,
showing today, what you're showing is women that you what you're showing as women in your example are relatively worthless in your example, because you can't tell me what they're bringing. You're saying cooking. If they cook, most people aren't cooking these days. You know that, and I know that. I've told you, most women I have dated in my life cannot cook. Not do not like to, they cannot.
Okay, I said children and companionship. Those are really important. If you take out cooking, okay, fine. But children and companionship is very important in someone's life. I feel like
but give me something that you're getting from, okay, companionship, but you also get a companion. Everything you're giving me that women bring to the table, she's also getting from a man. You said sex. She's also getting sex from a man. You say companionship. She's also getting companionship from a man. In my examples, it's all coming from a man. Uh-oh.
your examples only apply for divorce.
Well, that's the only thing we can really talk about. We can't talk about boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's can what talk matters. About if they're in the marriage and
we're talking about climb the wall to get to me to become a wife. I don't do the boyfriend girlfriend deal with, because that allows you ladies to continually be vague and deflect. I talk about something that's verifiable, that I don't have to worry about my feelings, that you and I both can look and agree on the facts. And what you've just showed is everything that women in your example are bringing is something that's shared. Sex is shared. Companionship is shared. What are women that are bringing to the table that men can't, that are not getting reciprocal from a man?
Okay. Wow, you said it's all shared, right? So the only
thing I'm saying everything you've talked about is.
Okay, everything I said is shared. The only difference this man has is money. That's the only thing.
What do you mean the only thing? What do you mean the only thing? If it only thing that no, don't say the only thing. The only thing is major. See, no, you're not gonna do that shit. The only thing, if it's nothing, then don't take it.
There we go. You see how they try to downplay the money? It's funny because it's the most important thing to women like this and for a lot of people. But a lot of people are okay with not having money. They're okay with just getting by. They're okay with just living a normal life. Women like this want a man who's way above average, making a substantial amount of money, and then now it's just, he only has money. Money gets a lot of things done. It ain't the end all be all, but guess what? It gets a lot of things done. It gives you access and freedom. So it's just money? No. With the right man and the money and everything else he's building, trust me, she's gonna be pulling that man away from other women. But it's funny how they try to downplay it.
It's not the only thing, it's major. And that's why many women wives are doing what they're doing, because there's a financial incentive to leave your husband. Ma'am, thank you for proving my point, because I've given you many chances to prove, and you've done a pretty poor job. Why was that necessary? Because she came in saying that women Men are gaining a lot from women. What? This is a 35-year-old woman. This is a 35-year-old woman telling me that men are gaining so much. What? What are they gaining? And the first thing out of her mouth was the first thing that comes out of women's mouth: sex. Ladies, listen and listen well. Your sex is not as valuable as you think it is, because your sex is not special like it used to be. Many women today have body counts in excess or higher than a lot of men. What's special about a woman who's had double digit, some case triple digit partners? Personally, I don't judge, but this is what men are saying. Ladies, I said you're not a virgin. And there's a cost to this independence and freedom and free sex and free love. There's a cost to it. Men don't value your sex like you want them to. And that's what she's having a hard time accepting. You can smile, unmute yourself. No, you want to talk. Men don't value it like you want it to. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. This is gonna sting a little bit, but no. I gotta ask you a question. Men don't value women's sex like you think they used to.
Look, for so many years, if that was the case, why is it that women were the ones you always see on commercials? We're the ones we see on music videos, twerking, doing all this.
What are you talking about? Men do not value individual sex, ma'am. I said sex. Okay.
Yes.
If you have okay. Let me get real basic with you. This is a real basic example. In a sexual transaction, how much do you think one sexual transaction a woman should charge for one sexual transaction? Let's just say we lived in bizarro land and men had to pay for it. Okay? Men had to pay for it. Even in healthy, functioning relationships, right? You had to pay for it. Yeah. How much do you think a man should have to pay for one sexual encounter with a woman?
For one sexual encounter, I mean, a lot. Because
what? Give me the number. No, not a lot, ma'am. Nope. I don't want you to ramble on until you give me a dollar amount.
It depends on if they have the sex available.
I don't want to hear this bullshit. Give me a dollar amount.
A dollar amount?
Yes.
If there are not many women,
give me a dollar amount. Okay, ma'am, I'm trying to have a conversation that we can both understand, but give me a dollar amount.
I don't even know what to put on this. Honestly, it's just weird.
Well, not really. This is how men think.
This is really embarrassing. I don't know. Maybe I would say $5,000. That's what I would say. Yes. Okay.
So, $5,000. So
yeah.
what I need you to do is I need you to go to, what city do you live in?
Dallas.
Right. I need you to go to any place where prostitution is rampant. Even I need you to go onto a website. Eros, E-R-O-S, Eros. It's a countrywide site for escorts, high-end prostitutes. And I need you to go look at what these women are charging for one session with them. And these are escorts. It ranges anywhere from $150 to possibly $600. And that's high-end escorts. I'm going to tell you what most women, especially if they work in the streetwalker profession, they will tell you they're getting about $40. And this woman said $5,000. So what you basically said, ma'am, is that if a man is making $50,000, he can have sex with his wife 10 times a year. You're out of your fucking mind.
Oh, man. Fellas, I'm going to ask you a simple question, all right? Just for the fellas, ladies, please. Sit this way. I mean, listen, I'm not even, you know what? Let me keep that thought on. Listen, men, fellas, let me ask you a simple question. If you had to pay $5,000 for any sexual interaction, How much money you think you're willing to spend? I know the fellas looking at their money right now like, yo, let me go ahead and put this back in my pocket and go, let me go spend this on something else. You're crazy. If a woman came to you proposing that type of deal, I don't think men are taking it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think even the one at the lowest level, he's keeping his $5,000. No one's doing this. This is absolutely insane. And that was such a great question by Kevin, even in which how he framed it. This was this was telling.
This is what I mean. You ladies think your vagina is rare. I got news for you. The female comes standard with a vagina. And unless it's a virgin, it's not as valuable. But even if she was being facetious at saying 5,000, the thing is, what we do know is it wasn't 50. There was no way in hell she would have gave a number close to being $50. And this is how much they really believe their vagina is worth at 35. Man,
that question wasn't a question I could answer.
Get it? It's a question you couldn't answer?
Because it depends on the circumstances of the situation.
Of course, ma'am. But if I asked you how much a hamburger costs, you could give me an approximate value. If I asked you how much a home costs or a car costs, you can give me an approximate value. There are always variables. But in general, if I told you a hamburger was $700, you'd say that costs too much. But if I said it was $5 or $3, you'd say, that's about right. Because there are always variables. There's a high end, there's a low end, there's a high end Kobe beef that's $400 or $500, and then there's 99-cent McDonald's. But there's always somewhere in the middle. And what you're telling me is $5,000 is an average, because I said an average cost. And honestly, ma'am, I believe that you honestly think your vagina and women's vagina is really worth that. And it's
because
simply
these are people. These are not burgers.
I don't give a shit, ma'am. This is I get it. See, it's people. But what you ladies don't seem to realize is with the women's movement, with freedom comes responsibility. You now have free love. You can choose who you have sex with, who you have a baby with, and now you have lowered the price of vagina on the market. It's lower. See, a man used to have to either get married to have access to a vagina, right, or go to a prostitute. Now he could swipe left and swipe right. The price of vagina, if it was on the stock market, would be a penny stock. Down to, oh my God. This is, you may not like it, ma'am, but you cannot tell me that you think a man would, okay, $5,000. So let's say somebody was going to date you. They took you out on a nice date in Dallas, a nice steakhouse, $300. What you're telling me is they'd have to take you to basically a steakhouse roughly 17 times before you'd have sex with them. You're crazy. And see, the problem is when you start making women put numbers on stuff, it takes it out of the feelings and it gets it real. And because most women are so innumerate, like that. Huh?
I don't feel like you should put numbers on something like that, though. I don't think that
why not?
You could apply that to numbers.
Why not? You putting up, wait a minute. Pimps and escorts and pimps and prostitutes and strippers, they put numbers on it. They do. OnlyFans, they put numbers on it. They do. I mean, I'm a grown up. I don't know about, you're 35. You're a grown up. People put numbers on sex. And you do too. There's a number in your head where you say, you know what? I'm not going to sleep with a man until we go on at least this amount of dates. There's a number in your head. We got to go on this amount of dates that with this amount of places and this amount of non-sexual contact. There's a number. And see, men just want to get to that number. And what you ladies are realizing is, like it or not, there's a number, and it ain't as special as you think it is, because the reason ain't nobody going to climb the wall to get to you is because somebody else has got $40 on it. And I'm saying the women I deal with, but I'm saying the bottom line is, if you want to charge more, you're going to have to be able to articulate why it's worth more. And what you haven't told is why somebody should pay you $5,000. What is your sex 1,000 times better? 100 times better
And
than?
my personality, the way I engage the person, the
Is
way
your
I make the
sex 100
person feel,
times better? If
it
it's
doesn't
50,
have to be the sex. It
okay,
could
but
be
we're
other
talking
things.
about sex, man, right now. Is your sex worth $5,000? Is it worth 100 times more than $50? Nope.
Yeah, I think so because I feel
Oh,
I'm
oh,
worth more. But
okay,
even that's
okay.
not even a good
Oh,
number.
okay.
What? So basically, now she's saying her nookie is worth $5K. That's what she's saying. So in order for you to even get anywhere close to this, and even the women that are listening to this, she's basically saying her nookie is worth $5K. Nuts. Absolutely abysmal. This is insanity. I am perplexed. 5 bands. She thinks her nookie is worth 5 bands.
Okay, then who has paid you? Okay, then I would see. This is a problem. She really believes this, dude. She's offended. And the thing is, all the men know exactly what I'm talking about. And you ladies, I think many ladies probably think like it's her, it's me, it's my body. I'm sorry, man. You're not a virgin. And women have charged one man one. That's the problem many men have with dating today. You're charging one group of men one sexual price and another group of men another sexual price. And then you want every man to believe it's special. You want the highest price on your body? Be a virgin. At 35 years old, ma'am, how about here's a question you can answer legitimately. No dollar value. No dollar value is necessary.
Okay.
Regarding sex, should you get more for sex at 35 than you did at 25?
I feel like it should be the same thing because I'm the
Oh, okay.
same
What
person.
product on the market? What product on the market maintains its value with age and use?
Nothing, because
Exactly.
a human being is not a thing.
Oh yeah, it
It's an
is.
object.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Better check slavery. If you don't check slavery, a human being has a price on him. You work for a company,
Of course.
then you got a fucking price on you. It's called your salary.
That
Oh,
doesn't that's my value though. I
yes,
feel like
to that company it is. If you thought your value was 10 times more, I guarantee you they'd show you the door. See, you ladies don't like to deal with reality. This woman actually said $5,000. Then she's saying, well, I should be able to charge the same thing at 35 that I charge at 25. No, you're 10 years older with 10 more use, 10 years more use, and 10 years more mileage. And see, this is the problem. Women who are older think that they should get more when they're less.
we're not less, Kevin.
Okay.
Thank you. We're not
Oh,
less.
yes, you are. Okay, who gets to judge?
Yes, it's you guys that are gonna judge us. I
Exactly.
understand.
And men deem older women less valuable than younger women. What
Why?
country are you from?
What country am I from?
Hmm? I don't know.
Country?
Yes. Are you from the United States?
Not really. I'm
That's what.
from
Or exactly, because he can assume that the accent that you have isn't one that is from the United States of America. So when he asks, "What country are you from?" she's like, "Country?" Like he's the foolish one. What is wrong with this woman?
Nigeria.
Okay. So I picked up an accent. That's why I asked.
Okay.
Are younger brides worth more than are older brides and the younger brides the same value? Hell no. Get out of here. You mad because you mad because the reality of equality has hit so many of you womanists, feminists dead in the face and you don't like it. Welcome to freedom.
Well, I just feel like it's what you believe. So if you believe that you're less valuable, if you believe that you don't have value because you're not 25, then I feel like that's what's going to come to you. But I feel like if you believe that you have value, then I mean, you do.
Show me the ring on your finger from a high value man or a productive, competitive, successful man who's validated that?
I don't have one.
Exactly. So you guys can believe in the power of sunshine, fairy tales, and leprechauns all you want. Men determine the value of women on this market. Welcome to reality, ladies.
Well,
I'm sorry, you determine the price of sex in this market. Women have always determined the price of sex in this market, and I'm sorry, you guys flooded the market with cheap access to vagina. So the price went down. And now you want people to still pay the high price for a product that's not rare.
Yes, they can, because Gucci is still closed. I could get a shirt.
You're not Gucci. You're Gucci. You're not Gucci. You're not, man. I'm sorry. At 35, you're not Gucci at 35, man. I'm trying not to be rude, man, but come on. You're still trying to get Gucci prices when you are really at maybe the Gucci outlet.
No, what I want to say is that even if they have flooded vagina everywhere, that doesn't mean everyone is gonna be that cheap.
I didn't say everybody, but I said in general, ma'am. And the problem is and the point is, you're right. And the problem is the women who think they should be getting 5,000 when it's 50 are the ones that are gonna die alone.
You just make me laugh.
Because Charles, y'all gonna die like Miss Havisham. You look, ma'am. I don't begrudge. If you want to say your vajayjay is worth $5,000, you're not gonna take a dime less. You have all the right to it. I'm not trying to tell you to lower your price. I'm just telling you you're gonna have few and far between and interested buyers. I mean, I asked you who's bought it, and this is a purchase, ladies. Who's bought you? You can talk all this shit, but who's bought you? You're from Nigeria. You know how this worked. Now you're twisting. Now you're shaking. You're kicking your leg, and because you know what I'm talking. 400 years ago would have been 2 cows, 6 goats, and some chickens. Give me her. Is that not a price?
It is.
Exactly. And there's still the same price, because whoever would put a ring on your finger, if they did it, guarantee. If there's a woman who has the same anatomical shape and who will get a smaller ring, and a woman who has the same anatomical shape who will get a 10 carat, can't even hold up her hand, what's the difference?
There is no difference. You just got a better man. That's the
only difference. No, there is a difference. And now, see, the thing is, you say you got a better man, and okay, let's just take your example. Then
Wait, hold on. If the other person then has a better man, how was she judging that? Because the size of the ring, right? Size of the ring, more carats equals what? More money. The same thing that she said that she didn't care about, and that's all that a man has. But now she's then caught in the crossfire, which she has to acknowledge the fact that that man is better. They'll do it to themselves.
Why can't you all get the better man?
Probably, maybe people are not in a good place to find them or whatever.
No, it's because you women overvalue yourselves. You're far too arrogant, and you think you're worth more to men than you are. And men tell you what we value. You don't want to listen, and you want us to value the things you want us to value, and men simply aren't buying. The market is showing you.
What other options you guys have though? Like if all the women are not acting that way, they have to be with women at the end of the day.
They don't have to buy them. What's the option? They can rent them. That's what the option is, ma'am. The option is what the option. See, you ladies think what's the option? And guys, pay attention. That was the ultimate plan. See, it used to be, well, you got to come back to us anyway. No, men are either choosing nothing, or that's what this emergent sex doll thing is. Guys are choosing to go overseas to try to find a bride over there, or sex tourism. Like, ma'am, like it or not, you ladies act like you got leverage. Where are your husbands? No one's buying you. And you act like that. You gotta buy me. And that's how you act. That's why you can be 300 pounds of purple hair. Because somebody gotta buy me. Nope.
Wow. Okay. So you said you can rent them. You can rent them.
Yes.
So you don't need to get married because you can rent them.
Yes. It's called OnlyFans. It was called Craigslist. It was called Backpage. It's called Tinder. It's called the
You,
hookup. Hold on. You're 35, right?
yeah.
All right. 15 years ago, there was no hookup culture. There was no Netflix and chill. There was no swipe left, swipe right. 15 years ago, you still had to kind of go on a date. That ain't the case now, is it?
Um,
Nowadays, it is far more common for people to swipe left, swipe right, have sex first, and then decide after the sex whether or not they like each other enough to go on a date. That is the
yeah.
norm. That is far more the norm.
People sleep with each other first, then go on a date.
Welcome to the
Uh,
welcome. Okay. In the chat room, anybody want to bring this woman up to speed? Ladies, want to bring up this lady up to speed? Yes. It's called hookup culture. And you're when is your birthday? What month? What's your birthday month?
my birthday month is September.
So you just turned 35. All right. But you're on the back, but past 35, you're on the backside to 40.
Right.
You are still you have the middle-aged dating woman's mindset in a new dating environment. Thinking that you can put a high dollar value on dating and thinking you can set your price high and thinking that men are going to have to meet it. They don't, ma'am. They don't. Because for every woman that's 35 who thinks she should still be getting the price of a 25-year-old, a man who has his choice is going to get with a 24-year-old is cool to just come by Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
I'm
Those
sorry.
were the thoughts.
Huh?
So yeah,
Huh?
the girls that do the Netflix and chill when they first meet you, nobody takes them serious anyway, because that's really like
Okay,
that's
yeah,
just
this
like
is what you say. This is what you say. This is what helps you ladies sleep well at night. What I'm about to say is gonna hurt. Nobody's taking you seriously either because you don't have a ring. So y'all can just knock that shit off.
okay. Wow. Okay.
I'm just it's cold, but it's true. Nobody's taking that. I'm going to wait second virgin. And I've told this to so many women your age who said, there was a woman on here on my Instagram who was in Atlanta in her mid 30s talking about she going to make a man wait. I think she had a couple of kids. I'm like, you out of your mind? And see, it used to be that somebody who had a used vehicle would realize that I can't get new car prices for this. And I just need to try to sell my vehicle to somebody who's looking to buy a vehicle. And I need to make the best deal I can, not try to act like it's better than a new vehicle or as good as a new vehicle. And then when they can't sell it for a new vehicle price, say something's wrong with the market. Because at the end of the day, as cold as this product things may sound, it has real import. No one's buying middle-aged women.
Wow. You know what? Well, that's what you. I know you feel like we're delusional or whatever, but that's just not what I feel.
I
I
don't care
feel
about
like
what you feel. Show me the marital rates of a woman over the age 35. Don't tell me what I feel. Show me the marital rates of a woman over age 35. Show me the marital rates of a woman over 40. Don't tell me about what you feel. Show me the rates.
I don't Google that kind of thing. I haven't
Well,
tried
here's
to.
the thing. This is the thing. You need to start because you are delusional if you think what you feel changes reality. That's
Well,
delusion. If you think what you feel changes the facts, That's delusion.
And her response to that was simply, well, imagine we live in a world like that now, when somebody gives you a legitimate fact and then they sit there and tell you, well, guess what? Your feelings don't overrule the fact. You still have to prove this. Yeah. Well, it's like, is this call even serious? And this call is like this right here. When Kevin say, like, I swear I'm not paying these people. This woman really thinks like this. Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I know that females and I have a lot to offer, and
You haven't
unlike
said it.
what you're saying.
What is it, ma'am? Because I asked you what it is and you can't articulate it. I think that's fair. I'm not saying you don't have a lot to offer. I'm just asking you to articulate it. And at 35 years old, I'm rather disappointed that you, as a 35-year-old woman, can't tell me. And then you turn around and say men who date younger women, that's silly because they're young and they're this, they're that. They don't know themselves. Well, you 35-year-old women aren't any more mentally mature than they are. At least they're more fun and younger and less demanding.
Less demanding, more fun.
Less demanding. Because there's something new with a younger woman. With an older woman, you likely already have a home, your car, you've been to places before, you've had more traumas, more relationships. Ma'am, and what you need to do is check your ego and listen to men, because we are the consumers of the product that's a woman. And your ego, your attitude will not allow you to hear the truth, to make adjustments to get the outcome you want. That's why you can.
I'm a PhD.
Buy a dog, die alone. Or you can listen to what men are saying they want and have a shot at getting one.
What I know is that as I'm older now, because when I was younger, I would probably talk more. I was probably more talkative and I could do things that were like irrational, which I wouldn't do now. So I feel like that should be a plus. And guys should know.
But that's only after you're in a relationship. See, that's fine after you've been acquired for a relationship. You still got to get to the point to where a guy sees you, is attracted to you, wants to even vet you. The things you're talking about are relationship skills. You got to get there. And when was the last time you had a relationship?
Like a year ago.
How long was it?
5 years.
5 years. Why didn't you guys get married?
We were married. That was a marriage.
And why did you guys get divorced?
He said that I didn't communicate well with him, or that I was like, that I talked too much or something like that.
So did he file or did you file?
He filed.
Because you, ma'am, I would tell you if it's a communication issue, and based on what you just said, you're better now. I think you should go back and listen to this segment, because maybe you think you're a lot better out communicating than you really are. Because you just said that I'm better than I would have been when I was younger. That's relative. That's relative. If you're making a 20% in a class, 35 or 40 is better, but it's still failing.
That's just that was his own.
I'm telling you, ma'am, I've asked you many times to tell me what you're trying to communicate. Tell me what women bring to the table. And I said, you have done a poor job. I'm telling you that you haven't told me anything either. And I spent 20 plus minutes trying to talk to you, and I've got a lot of feel. I've got a lot of, well, I believe it in my heart, but it doesn't matter if you can't communicate it to anybody. And the thing is, if you can't communicate to a man what he needs to understand, he's not going to tolerate it. Your husband kind of proved that.
That's a different issue.
It's not a different issue. Okay. Again, refusal to change, refusal to learn, refusal to improve. All right, man. We're going back and forth in this circle. This, anyway.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night now. All right. Well, I just don't get it, but I do now. It's like, hey, ladies, make no mistake. You do not, DONOT, do not gain sexual marketplace value with age, experience, and wisdom. It decreases.
All right, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I want you guys to make sure you like and subscribe and go over to Kevin Samuel's channel. Go support the Godfather. Let's keep his name alive. Man, Kevin was cooking in this episode. We're going to have to call him Hibachi Kevin. This is definitely Hibachi Kevin right here. But yeah, make sure you guys like and comment. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.